May it live long and prosper. Will what? That's crazy. That's insane.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most touching and uplifting moments on the American version of Who Do You Think You Are?
That's amazing.
I know. Don't make me cry. I've been crying this whole trip.
Imagine.
Number 10, Zooey Deschanel.
It's not often you get the opportunity to research your roots and be in the place that your ancestors were, and I think that's a really incredible opportunity, and so I am excited.
Zooey Deschanel comes from a famous family of artists and entertainers. She also descends from human rights activists, including her paternal grandmother, Anna Ward Orr. Tracing her Quaker roots, the actor-singer learns about ancestors from Pennsylvania who heavily contributed to the fight for racial equality.
That's wonderful. So she has been appointed to a committee that is rallying to inspire a more impassioned approach to ending slavery.
That's exactly what she's doing.
Deschanel discovers that her four-time great-grandmother Sarah Pownell, the daughter of a slave owner, was a vocal abolitionist and later owned property that aided the Underground Railroad. She had the opportunity to read a document from 1848 detailing Sarah's vital role as a member of an anti-slavery committee.
What an impassioned letter.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's truly moving. I feel honored to be related to one of these people.
They
here.
were very brave.
Supporting my mother's theory that I come from a long line of strong women.
Deschanel was moved by her bravery and compassion, especially when speaking out about having such beliefs was dangerous. Number 9, Spike Lee. Legendary filmmaker Spike Lee appeared on Who Do You Think You Are to learn more about his maternal ancestry, something he wished he did sooner. During his research, he found that his grandmother, Zimitha, had a grandfather named Mars Jackson.
His father's name was Mars. That's familiar.
In his first feature film, 1986's She's Gotta Have It, Lee played a character called Mars, a name suggested by his grandmother.
And it fit because Mars in the film is crazy. That's insane.
He was pleasantly surprised by the connection and wanted to know more about the life of his great-great-grandfather. Mars was a farmer born into slavery who went on to own more than 80 acres of land after emancipation. Inspired by his story, Spike Lee visited Mars's former land, honoring his ancestor along with his fictional namesake.
And at one time, my great-great-grandfather, Mars Jackson, owned this land.
Number 8, Marissa Tomei.
I received word you are in Italy looking into your family history and wanted to get in touch to tell you what I know of your ancestors.
Marissa Tomei turned to genealogical research to find the truth about the murder of her maternal great-grandfather, Francesco Leopoldo Bianchi. Growing up, she heard that he was killed due to his philandering ways, leaving his widow Adelaida to raise 2 children on her own. She confirmed he met a tragic end, shot by a man named Terzilio Lazzareschi. However, Leopoldo's murder was over a business deal gone wrong, not because of any misdeeds. Researchers also found a living relative named Rosetta Vanucci, daughter of Leo's sister Bruna Bianchi, making her Tomei's first cousin twice removed.
I am Rosetta Vanucci, the daughter of Bruna Bianchi, who was your great-grandfather Leopoldo Bianchi's sister, making me your grandfather Armando Bianchi's cousin and your first cousin twice removed.
In a letter, Rosetta explained how Adelaida married a good man who provided for the family, painting a much happier picture than what Tomei's family believed for decades.
This story really isn't a story of a broken family. She went on to marry a great guy, and my grandpa had a really great life.
Number 7, Molly Shannon.
This picture is incredible.
This picture was taken in this house. And this was the house your grandfather left to go to America from.
At a very young age, SNL alum Molly Shannon lost her mother, youngest sister, and cousin in a car accident. Growing up, she never knew her maternal grandparents, Owen Keating, formerly Cadogan, and Mary Madden. On her episode of Who Do You Think You Are, Shannon travels to Ireland to trace her mother's side of the family, and visits her grandfather's hometown of Cloughmore on the island of Achill.
I wanted to show you this particular piece of land because it is surrounded by enormous handmade stone walls. And those walls were built by your ancestors, your great-grandfather, Owen Owen Cadogan Sr.
There she meets two cousins who share their fond memories of Owen, including how proudly he spoke about his daughter. Shannon tears up hearing about the love her grandfather had for her mother, two people she tragically lost too early in life.
He died right when I was born, and then my mom died when I was 4, so it's just so sweet, you know.
Number 6, Julie Chen Moonves.
I have so many more questions about this man's life.
Julie Chen Moonves knew her maternal grandfather, Lu Gatong, had a rags-to-riches story with the impression that he was a wealthy playboy type. However, in her ancestry research, she discovered that he made a great impact in China, providing relief to refugees during the War of Resistance. He was also a philanthropist. In 1937, Lu Gatong and his brother Lun Jinzi co-founded the Anshan Primary School in their village of Penglai, China. Moonves felt proud of her grandfather's humanitarianism and heroism, especially after visiting the school, where she saw firsthand how he empowered youth through education.
It says the funeral takes place on Sunday. It's so strange because, like, I never met him, but it's sad.
Number 5, Christina Applegate.
I have asked my father to come here to Trenton so I can sit down with him and share with him the information. I know some of the story is going to be really difficult for him to hear.
Throughout her life, Christina Applegate's paternal grandparents were a mystery. Her father, Robert, was raised by his grandparents and grew up knowing hardly anything about them. Diving into the complicated family tree, Christina learned the ugly truth about the troubled lives of her grandparents, Lavina Shaw and Paul Applegate. In the 1940s, the two divorced and fought over custody of their son. Between Paul's alleged abuse of his wife and Lavina's substance use, it's a heartbreaking story.
God, this is just nuts.
Christina shares the unpleasant details with her father, and he's able to finally have closure. She reminds him that he didn't continue the cycle of pain. Instead, he gave his kids a great childhood full of love and care despite not having one himself.
Want me to tell you what the good is?
I like to have a moment of happiness, yeah.
Here's the good, Dad. The beauty of this is that you can be incredibly proud that you broke the pattern and that you raised all of us.
Yeah.
Number 4, Jason Sudeikis. Similar to Christina Applegate, SNL alum Jason Sudeikis went on a genealogical journey to find answers for his father, Dan, who never knew his father. Stanley and Edna Sudeikis married on September 25, 1945 in Chicago. On the same day, he abandoned his pregnant wife and their daughter, never providing financial support.
The defendant willfully deserted and absented himself from the plaintiff without any reasonable cause.
In 1948, Stanley, unhoused and often under influence of substances, died on a sidewalk. When he was young, his father, Stanley Sr., left to start another family.
I'm certainly proud and very fortunate to have had my father.
Jason relays these harrowing discoveries to his parents and siblings, and in a touching moment, he praises his dad for being present and giving their family a fortunate life.
You know, you've taken a lot of time over these last 10 years to sort of like apologizing to me, thinking you didn't do enough or were too hard here. Yeah, and I just, you know, I don't think you need to do that ever again.
Number 3, Regina King. On her genealogical journey, Regina King learned about her maternal great-great-grandfather Moses Crosby, aka Moses Hughes, and the racial injustices he faced.
It is also the political center of the black community. You got to remember that black folk could not gather anywhere else other than the church. Everything was off limits.
In 1868, he was targeted by the Ku Klux Klan in Alabama after an altercation with a white man, and a group of them broke into his home and killed his wife. Moses was later charged with assault and attempted murder of the white man and sentenced to 2 years in prison. Soon after his release, the educator and activist became a pastor, co-founding Morning Star Association.
Wow, this man. He was a pastor.
The organization paved the way for Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a pastor. Regina was overjoyed and inspired to discover that Moses continued working to create a better world.
Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, of course, gave rise to the modern-day civil rights movement. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Number 2. Lisa Kudrow. One of the first episodes of the U.S. version of Who Do You Think You Are featured executive producer and actor Lisa Kudrow tracing the Eastern European roots of her father. He recalled being young when a Polish relative named Yuri Barudin visited the family in New York to deliver terrible news. Mary Mordechowicz, Lee's grandmother, was among the 750 to 900 Jewish villagers who were killed in the 1942 Ilya massacre.
As soon as the Nazis arrived in Ilya, they showed extreme cruelty toward the Jewish population. They soon started going from home to home, searching for every man, woman, and child.
Lee never saw him again, and Yuri was presumed dead. Kudrow traveled to Belarus to get the full story and learned the tragic, horrifying details. But to her surprise, Yuri was still alive.
Oh my gosh, he's alive! I can't believe it.
Having the chance to meet Yuri and his family was a positive end to a bleak episode.
Oh, it's so nice to see you. It's so good to meet you.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Rita Wilson. Rita Wilson's father, Alan, never liked to discuss his past, so 2 years after he passed away, the actor set out to learn more about his early life.
My dad was born in northern Greece in 1920. And so I'm starting my search on Ancestry.com and see if we can find if there's any documents related to the village.
Wilson travels to Greece, where Alan was born Hasan Halilov Ibrahimov, and then to Bulgaria, where his family later moved. She unearths painful secrets, including that his previous wife and child died within months of each other. Wilson meets with Hasan's 96-year-old half-brother Ferhat, still living in Bulgaria. Both are moved to tears as they share a heartfelt hug.
How are you?
Ferhat talks about the emotional reunion with his brother at a labor camp before Hasan escaped and he had to stay behind. The tears keep flowing when he later gives her a letter her father wrote from America.
I came to America on May 4th, 1949.
Which of these moments warmed your heart? Let us know in the comments below.
And I really, really hope with all my heart that at the end of the process, he really sees what a miracle he is.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.